today, and it's an honor for me to be here at this as a special speaker at this important 44th anniversary meeting of the Caribbean Council for the Blind I Care Caribbean Conference. And I stand here with what only can be described as a feeling of euphoria, because my family motto is, who would have thought? You never know where life will take you. And today represents to me a very special moment in my life, because I return, as Keith said, to my homeland to address the conference as a baroness, a member of Her Majesty's government, the first female Trinidadian peer in the House of Lords. And I follow in the giant footsteps of the great Lord Leary Constantine. Yes, who would have thought? I hope that my presence here goes a long way to inspire children and young people to understand that anything is possible. If you work hard, if you persevere and remain totally committed to what you morally believe in. This philosophy, I believe, is at the heart of the CCB, and I pay tribute to you and wholeheartedly support and salute the work that you're doing. Your mission is both simple and noble, preventing blindness and visual impairment while restoring sight and creating opportunities for persons whose sights cannot be restored. Yes, a truly inspirational mission. Now, you may not know this, but I do have an indirect connection with the CCB, and that is through my very good friend and colleague, Kevin Keary. Now, I'm sure many of you here know of Kevin from the early days of the CCB, when in 1978 he was sent by John Wilson of the Royal Commonwealth Society for the Blind to be their representative here in the Caribbean, as their Caribbean regional officer based here in Trinidad, supervised by Cyril Monsentin. But, you know, I met Kevin in a very different capacity other than those connected with blind issues. It was when I served with him over 3 years on the Ofcom Content Board, that's the independent regulator and competition authority for the UK communications industry. His wisdom and expertise had a great influence on all the board members. Now, even though neither of us no longer sit on the board, Kevin and I have remained in touch, because while we were there, he gave me a greater understanding about the loss of sight and the ways in which society needs to address it, how we need to promote awareness and attitudes, defeating prejudices, as well as extending all areas of research, treatment and care for the visually impaired. He lives and breathes this and is a true inspiration. And in fact, he's asked me to pass on his greetings and fondest regards to all of you, and wishes you a wonderful conference and a very successful future. The gift of sight is a miraculous mechanism which gives us the ability to view the world in all its beauty and wonder. But when it fades or is taken from us, we have to rely on the brain's amazing ability to adjust and develop other senses, which goes some way to compensating for the loss of sight. And Kevin taught me how to close my eyes and how to listen to when someone is speaking to you. He taught me that with practice you can tell that if they're being truthful by the sound of their voice, as you develop your sixth sense, which can be a great asset in today's society. And what I admire so much about the CCB is that they work tirelessly to promote the fact that many causes of sight, loss of sight, are preventable and treatable. And this is a vital part of their work. Because there is far too much blindness and low vision in the Caribbean, and I'm sure we all agree about that. And there is much work to be done to educate and influence families, especially children and young people, in the way their diet can have effect on their health, and that includes their vision. Food high in carbohydrates, sugar and fat can cause diabetes and other major health problems, which can have a direct effect on their sight and cause blindness. This is a simple change in lifestyle that has to be addressed early in their lifestyle. A very simple thing about not eating fast foods, not eating too much sugar, not eating too much high carbohydrates comes with education. But there is also the need to deal with some of the more widespread problems in the region concerning loss of sight that the Caribbean faces today. And more resources are needed to ensure that this happens. This is why the creation of the degree course in optometry at the University of Guyana was such good news, as it will create experts in this field. And I believe this initiative is due to the long-running campaign by the CCB to help bring about the ratio of eye care professionals closer to international standards. And hopefully by 2014, this will start to become a reality. And if more universities across the Caribbean come on board, then that will fill the serious gap in service in the region eye care capacity, which will be a great way forward to assist future generations. And I'm pleased to say that the University of Exeter, where I am Chancellor, is leading the way into finding out the causes of diabetes and identifying the genes linked to the condition and the ways of treating specific types of diabetes. This work is ongoing and hopefully will benefit not just those in the UK, but those here in the Caribbean and throughout the world too. My own father, Roy Benjamin, suffered from poor eyesight and ended his life almost blind. The decline of his visual capability started when he was a very young boy, when at that time, 80 years ago, there was very little knowledge and assistance available. But young children of today should not and must not have to suffer the same way. We owe it to them to make sure the problems are addressed early on, and provisions should be readily available to do just that. And speaking of my father, who incidentally, his birthday is today. So happy birthday, Daddy, up there. Daddy, he would have been very proud and thrilled to know that I am here standing speaking to you this evening. Because as I stand here, not only as a Caribbean woman, proud of my roots, but as a Trini, making a difference beyond these shores. My father was born in Antigua, and my great-grandfather was from Barbuda. My mother was born in Trinidad, and her mother was born in Grenada. To me, this shows that we are Caribbean people, historically linked, strong survivors. We were brought here to these shores, shackled and chained, to work and toiled, stripped of our original identity. But make no mistake, we are all related and need to see ourselves as one force, which is why I'm so impressed with the way the CCB is a pan-Caribbean organization and has an all-embracing ethos, something which needs to be celebrated, and I salute you for that.